Dr. Kenton Dashiell, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
And congratulations, IITA is 50.
Thank you very much.
See, you are the DG for the Partnership for Delivery, P4D?
I'm the Deputy Director General.
Deputy
Partnerships for Delivery. Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about what that stands for, what the program is?
Well, it's all about delivering technologies to the end users. So the end users could be farmers, they could be food processors, they could be agro dealers, they could be marketing.
Okay.
So the end users of technologies that IITA develops do nothing unless they're delivered to, the research IITA doesn't help anyone until those research results are in the hands of the end users. And so that's what my division does in IITA.
So under that you have the Alpha Safe, what else?
We have the Alpha Safe, Najumax, Go Seed. We have all the youth programs that are training youth to become agripreneurs. And under that program, there's many different kind of businesses. Fish enterprise, snack making enterprise, vegetable enterprise, etc.
I'm gonna go back a little bit. So can you tell us a little bit how long you've been at IITA and when you started?
Sure. I started at IITA in 1983. I came as a postdoc, working on soybean breeding. And I continue to do soybean breeding here at IITA for 18 years. And in that time, it was a very rewarding part of my career because when I came to Nigeria, there really weren't good soybean varieties for the farmers. They didn't yield well, they were susceptible to diseases and other problems. And so I worked with a team of people here at IITA and others in national programs here, Ghana, and many other countries to develop better varieties. So by the late 90s, we had very good varieties that could yield high and resistant to diseases and insects. And so those varieties were quickly adopted by farmers. And soybean production in Nigeria and many other countries in Africa went from near zero to where Nigeria is up around 1 million tons per year now. So that was a very rewarding part of my career to actually do that work on the ground to develop the varieties. Then in 2001, I left the Institute and I actually went to Oklahoma in the US for about 4 years, working at the university as a groundnut breeder. Then I went to South Dakota for 6 years. There I was heading up a research lab working on soybean, maize, and wheat for the northern plains of the U.S. I was the head of that laboratory for the federal government. It's called the U.S. Department of Agriculture Research Service. I enjoyed that job, and then I went to Nairobi for 2 years. I was heading up a big project on legumes, funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. I actually thought I wanted to keep that job until I retired. But then there was a job opening up back here at IITA that sounded like exactly the thing I wanted to do. So I applied for that job. I've been back at IITA now for 5 years.
So you must really love IITA.
I love it.
So I know you've done a little bit of work on nutritional value of crops. Can you tell us more about it?
Well, IITA, of course, wants to make sure that the new varieties that they develop or that we develop have good nutritional benefits for farm families that grow and eat those crops and for the people that buy those crops. And so to give you just a few examples, one of them is high vitamin A cassava. And vitamin A is an essential vitamin, especially needed by young children. When they have low vitamin A, it affects their eyesight and other things in their growth. So cassava is very low in vitamin A naturally, but scientists discovered that through breeding, they could make the levels high so that when children eat cassava, at least they don't have vitamin A deficiency. It changes the cassava from white to orange. And so everybody in Nigeria, in fact all over Africa, is used to white cassava. So orange colored cassava is kind of strange.
But it's better.
But it's more nutritious.
Nutritious.
And so what we found is the farmers and the end users really accept this. Once they understand, it's actually better for you.
Oh,
So it's becoming very popular. It's in very high demand now. In fact, one of the interesting things is that in Nigeria, they make a product called gari. And this gari is white. But in some parts of Nigeria, they add red palm oil to the gari to make it red in color. It gives a bit of a different taste. And people pay higher premium for that one.
Okay.
So now they make gari out of the yellow cassava, and it looks just like the
premium gari.
Yeah. So anyway, that was pretty cool.
Oh, that's interesting. I know you've worked with maize, maize, wheat, soybeans, granules, a lot of crops. Can you give us a little bit of information about we have the maize armyworm disease right now?
Yeah.
Do you have any information? Is IITA working on something with that? Or?
Yes. It's really amazing because this fall armyworm is a big problem in some other parts of the world. It has not been in Africa at all.
No.
And in 2015, there was a bit of it in Africa. In 2016, it destroyed a lot of farms. It's an insect that will look like a worm, and it eats leaves. And it hides inside the corn. If you know what I mean. When corn grows, has something, call it a whorl, so it crawls down inside there. And when you want to spray it, it'll be hiding there.
Oh.
But it comes out in the night. So if you spray at night, you can kill them.
Oh.
So it's a new insect.
The farmers know that? The farmers are aware that if you spray at night, you can actually kill them? Farmers,
yes. Yes, we're teaching them that. But we actually they don't have to spray at night. Early in the morning or just before the sun goes down.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
But we're working on more sustainable ways to control it through biocontrol and other things. But for the short term, farmers have a couple choices. One is be prepared with the right insecticide to kill the worm, or plant something different than maize.
Well, I guess something different than maize. So I wanted to see, can you tell us more about IITA, like the insights from IITA's from the past achievements and like the way forward? What do you expect in the next 50 years?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'm glad to do that. Well, IITA is 50 years old, and we've had many great successes over the years. One of the great successes was cassava in Africa was attacked by something called mealybug. This insect was destroying the maize. And the scientists at IITA went to Brazil, and they found that mealybug, the same one that was destroying the maize in Africa. It didn't do anything to the maize in Brazil. The reason was it was in very low population.
Okay.
And then the question is, why is the population low in Brazil? And why, when it came to Africa was it a huge population and destroying the cassava? Well, the reason was because there was no enemy for the cassava mealybug here in Africa. In Brazil, that bug had many enemies that were keeping the population down low. Scientists found a small, tiny insect on a wasp. The only way this wasp can reproduce is to lay its eggs inside a cassava mealybug.
Okay.
When those eggs hatch, it kills the mealybug. So in Latin America, there's not too many mealybugs because this wasp is always laying its eggs in there. So we brought that wasp to Nigeria and to Cotonou, actually. We did a lot of research on it to make sure that if we released it in Nigeria and Africa, it wouldn't start damaging something else.
Yeah.
We were convinced it couldn't damage anything except the cassava mealybug.
Okay.
So we released it all over Africa, and now it's just like Brazil. Cassava mealybug is in such low populations it doesn't cause
that's
any problem.
interesting.
So this saved the crop of Nigeria in Africa. There will be no cassava in Africa.
It's not for the mealybug.
Not for that.
Oh,
not for that little wasp.
Oh, it's interesting.
Another big success was with maize.
Okay.
There was a disease attacking maize called Maize Streak virus. This virus didn't do too much damage to maize in the southern part of Nigeria,
Okay.
or the more humid parts in West Africa. But as you move north to the drier areas, that disease was very bad.
Okay.
So in fact, farmers didn't even grow the crop in the northern part of Nigeria and the drier areas because this disease was killing them. Well, the breeders breed maize varieties completely resistant to this disease. So now you can see maize all over northern Nigeria. It's a major crop, and it's making the farmers wealthy.
So IITA has been very successful, and you made impacts in the life of farmers in Nigeria.
Yes.
Well, I guess in Africa,
yes,
really.
That's right.
So any future, what do you see next for the next 50 years?
Well, the next 50 years, we will face new challenges that we don't know what they are today. Just like the fall armyworm, just like the cassava mealybug, these new challenges will come and we will need to address them. And they're going to come probably more than before because of climate change, because of increasing temperatures. It's going to change the insects and the diseases that attack the various crops. That's kind of I'd say the negative side. But the positive side is more fascinating because we see across Africa the government's becoming more and more serious about agriculture. And we see businesses like the Dangote family or Nigerian flour mills, Olam, investing big money in agriculture because they see the future is producing food here in Africa for Africans. Right now, there's way too much food imported into Africa. And so businessmen are smart, businessmen and women. And so they're starting up businesses in agriculture in Africa. And IITA, over the next 50 years, is going to be partnering with these businesses to help them be successful. And small-scale farmers are now moving out of being subsistence farmers. They see agriculture as a business, and especially the youth. So IITA has a big program with youth in agriculture. The youth are not interested in agriculture like their parents and their grandparents, where agriculture was a way of life. You're born as a farmer, you grow up as a farmer, you die as a farmer, and you're poor your whole life. African youth have rejected that. It's not for them anymore. I'm ready, the youth are ready to go to the farm, but as a business to make money, to make profit, so that you can send your children to good schools, so that your family will all have good nutrition, so you can have a TV, you can have a radio, and enjoy life.
Maybe better than your parents.
Much better than the parents, yes.
Thank you.
So it's going to be a very exciting 50 years. Well, IITA, congratulations on a wonderful 50 years. You have really done some fantastic work in those 50 years. You've saved millions of lives with varieties resistant to disease and insects. It's increased agriculture production greatly. As we look to the future, I think it looks even better. I see IITA moving into agriculture business, making youth of Africa wealthy through agriculture. I wish you great success with you.